And Subo is with us from the bag, and it is such a pleasure to have you on because you don't come on TV very often.
No, I don't.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, so snow softball, this is a big year for softball, isn't it?
It sure is. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year.
Wow,
Yep,
30 years.
30 years we've done this, believe it or not.
So out of those 30 years, there's a tremendous amount of money that you've raised.
Yep, we have surpassed 700,000. That's over the lifetime of the tournament. So our next goal will be $750,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'd like to see us do it this year. We have never raised more than 40,000 in a year, and we'd need to raise over 50,000 to meet that goal. But who knows? You know, maybe there's someone who would like to help us towards that goal this year.
Sure, sure. So the tickets are sold by the teams themselves. Is that how that works?
Well, no. The teams all throw in an entry fee, which is minimal. And then the players are responsible for soliciting sponsors. And also we have the AMVETs come from Livermore every year to run a concession stand, and all of the proceeds from the concessions go towards the event. And all of the food is donated by Cisco every year.
Oh.
And we're hoping to get Poland Springs on board this year with some water donations.
Right.
And John Beaupre donates food every year, and it's just really something because our overhead is zip for all that, for all those things.
Well, I know that the plant manager of Poland Spring watches the show a lot.
Oh, well, hi.
So
You'll be seeing me.
Yeah. So what do you need?
I was going to go talk about getting some water donated, and
What do you
who
want, a
knows,
pallet?
maybe. Well, you know, we get thirsty out there all day long.
So we could use a pallet of water if you're watching here this morning, Poland Spring. I mean, it comes out of the ground and everything. I'm sure you can afford it. So we'd like to maybe just like a pallet of it or something like that. And for all these thirsty athletes, they don't drink just water.
No,
It's
they
kind
don't,
of
but water is important.
Yeah. They'd like to have some water. So I'm sure that they'll accommodate you for that. And so this event is the 30th year, and it's the Fred B. Webster. Now tell us about Fred.
Fred Webster was a local who was here for many, many years. He has a lift named after him, Fred's Pitch, where he had a mishap one year.
Right.
And he was very active with this tournament from the get-go for the couple of years that he was around. He died way too young, but when he did die, we named the tournament in his honor. And so his memory lives on every year. If he was here, he'd be amazed that we're still doing this after all this time.
He'd be very proud.
If I may, I would like to touch on the Special Olympics organization itself.
Sure.
It's very unique because there are only 5 people who are paid to run Special Olympics in the state of Maine. And there are over 3,500 registered volunteers. And those are for the 18 regional statewide events that are held every year. And then there are another 50 local events like ours with volunteers that aren't counted in that number of 3,500 people.
Wow.
And the organization runs on a budget of $1.3 million. And it's up to the 5 paid employees and the board members, of which I am one, to run the fundraisers and try to get all that money together every year. And that's why it's so important, all of these small, events like ours.
Right.
That's why they're so important. And there are over 4,300 athletes that are the beneficiaries of this program. So it's a really exceptional program. Most of the states hire a lot more people than 5 to run their Special Olympics.
So let's talk about the event, where it's going to take place.
Sure.
It's moved a couple of times. Where it's going to take place and the day of and how people can get involved.
Absolutely. This year it's being hosted up in Stratton for the 3rd year in a row. And Snow Softball headquarters will be at the Stratton Plaza. Jeff and Jen are very gracious hosts every year. Since they've had it, and it's on March 28th. It's traditionally the last Tuesday of March, and this year it happens to fall on the 28th. And we begin our games at 9 in the morning. We have 2 fields that we use. We are on the Fodders field and the Little League field. So on the Little League field, if we hit more than 3 home runs an inning, it's an out. because it just takes too long. People hit home runs all day on that field. And David Taylor will be our ump at the winners bracket field again, like he has for 29 of the 30 years. One
Wow.
year he took his kids to a dentist appointment, so he missed it.
Oh.
I told him that won't fly. You got to be here. And we have IT coming to help this year to ump since Reggie Gordon is out of town, and he'll be at the Little Fenway Park.
Wow.
And it's a double elimination tournament. There are 8 teams involved. It's a 5-inning, 1-pitch tournament, so it proceeds one game on each field every hour, and typically the last game is at 4 in the afternoon.
Right. Now, who was the big team winner last year?
Well, the big team winner last year, it depends on what you consider the big team winner.
Right.
The team that won the tournament was the Stratton Plaza. In my eyes, the big team winner was the bag team because we raised the most money. Our team raised $12,000 last
Good for
year.
you. Yeah.
Yep, and we actually have a trophy that we present to the highest fundraising team every year, as well as the coveted snowshoe trophy that goes to the winners of the tournament.
Yeah. So they look for sponsors, and many of the players will go out and they'll find those sponsors. And can you just donate? Can they come see you?
Oh, absolutely. I had a gentleman, I'm going to mention his name, whether he likes it or not. Peter Robbins came into the bag yesterday and pledged $1,000.
Wow, good for him.
Yes, and he typically pledges Courtney Steves, and she is not at the rack, so this year he decided to pledge me instead. And I bring my pledge sheet to the bag every day. For those of you who know me, you can find me there. For those of you who don't, that's where I am. So feel free to come in and sign up. And no pledge is too small or too big.
Right.
It all adds up.
Wow, 12,000. So you want to beat that mark? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had $12,000 the bag raised last year.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
some pretty
Yep.
hefty money.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So stop by the bag today because it's Cheeseburger Soup Day.
That's correct.
And you can accomplish a couple of things. Well, we're going to take a